Welcome to the channel called CAD with Mr. Hugh. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to use the AutoCAD software. Now, this is part one of 3 videos, and we thank you for joining us. In part one, I'll be giving you a brief introduction. We'll be looking at the main commands that you use in AutoCAD to produce drawings. Now, in the second and third set of videos, we'll be using these commands to do a real life drawing. We'll be drawing a transition piece in the topic called development. So perhaps you have gone to these large wholesale clubs, and if you look up in the ceiling, you'll see an air-conditioned ducting. That ducting can be made from fabric, a cloth-like looking fabric, or it can be made from sheet metal, a flat sheet. That these two um, objects are used to carry the air-conditioned flow from um, the AC unit to inside the building and it distributed, right? So they're normally suspended in the top of the ceiling. Sometimes you can see the ducting, sometimes you can't. But in most large scale wholesale supermarket clubs, you can actually see them, right? Now, as I said, the 2 videos of the series of 3 videos, the last 2 set of videos will look at how do we draw using AutoCAD. So we aim to become your favorite AutoCAD resource online, and we thank you for joining us and hope that you will watch the 3 videos so that your skill sets can now be improved. Welcome to the channel called CAD with Mr. Hugh. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to draw with AutoCAD. Okay? So on your desktop, if you have downloaded the program already and if the icon is on the desktop on your computer screen, then you can click on it and it will take you to the AutoCAD software. If it is not on the screen, then that means you have not enabled the software shortcut to be on a desktop. All right, so here the program is has started and we're waiting until the AutoCAD comes up. So the first thing you do is click the icon here, or you can go down to the search bar down here and search for the program. Okay. All right. All right. So here we are in the AutoCAD. Because I've used AutoCAD before, here are some of my files. So what you would do, you would go to new, this icon here, then you would tell it the name that you want to be the file to be saved as. All right. So here it is, the default is drawing one. Start is a home page where you would have the previous drawings, and also you could search there. Okay, but here we are in the drawing section. Now this is a drawing area. These are the commands up here. Okay. And the main command that we'll be using today is a line command, right? So this is a use a line command. You click the line, you come down here to turn on snap. The snap is just a function that enables the cursor to adhere to the grid, right? So if you set the grid, let me show you. If you set the grid, you type in the word grid, enter. The last spacing that I had on my current AutoCAD software is 10 millimeters, right? So if I set the snap, if I type in snap, the cursor will snap onto those spaces. See this in my computer program, I have 10. I could have changed it to 5, right? So what that means, if the grid is 10, like a graph paper, and I set my snap to 10. What that means, when the cursor moves and the snap is on, you press F9 to turn on the snap on and off. F9 at the top. F9 is above the number 8 sign on the keyboard, right? So if I put my snap at 10, when I move my cursor, it would adhere to the corners of the grid. Okay? If I put it at 10, at 5, if the grid is at 10 and I set it at 5, what that means, the cursor would go to the grid, which is 10, and also go in between the grid. Okay? All right. So that is a grid. So that is snap. Snap, that's a grid. Okay, the next thing you need to know is the object snap, which is this icon down here. Or if you type in the word object snap in the command line, this bar down here is called a command line. Your object snap, I press enter, a dialog box comes up. And depending on what I want, you have endpoint, midpoint, center, node. A node is a dot on the line or the object. Quadrant. Quadrant is if you have a circle and you divide the circle into four parts. The top of the circle would be one quadrant. The south of the circle would be another quadrant. East of the circle would be another quadrant. And west of the circle would be another quadrant. Okay? We have extension, we have insertion, we have perpendicular, tangent, we have nearest, we have apparent, we have parallel. Now we can turn them off by turning the snap on off icon here, see? And they be turned off, right? All right. We can clear all and we can select all, okay? Press OK to exit. So we can either type in the object snap in the command line. This is called a command line. This thing here, this is called a command line. All right. I can turn it off down here, right? Turn on and off the snap, or I can select the drop down arrow and can select the ones that I don't want or want, okay? Depending on the situation that you're drawing in. All right, so click outside here, we get rid of that. All right, so that's the object snap. Now, the reason why I show you the object snap is that you'll be using the object snap to put a line, for example, on an object. All right, so let me show you what I mean. Here's a line command, and if I turn on ortho, which is this button here, I click here as a start point, I will only get horizontal or vertical lines, see? But if I turn ortho off, I can get angular lines, okay? All right, so escape, let me do it again. So line, this point, right, going across, I can use the snap to guide me. I turn on my ortho, which would be a T-square line, right? Going up, across, and down. So there's a rectangle, right? So that is how I drew the rectangle using the line command, all right? The next command that I'm going to introduce you to is the circle command. So here's a circle. Now if you read the command line down here, it is asking for the center point of the center for the circle. Now look now. I'm going to hover over here and see that triangle. As there it says midpoint is the object snap is finding the center of the line for me. Okay. So if I move down here, see it says midpoint. If I move to the corner, it will pick up the perpendicular endpoint. All right. Good. So let me draw the circle here for you. So I select my center and I type in the radius that I want. Okay. All right. Now, that will be the circle. Now, if I want to trim, suppose I want to trim out this line. If you scroll the wheel on the mouse, the diagram will get bigger or smaller. So if I go trim, If I click here, I will get rid of that line. See? Okay? All right. So I've shown you the line command, I've shown you the circle command. So I'm wheeling back my mouse wheel and the diagram to get smaller. The next thing I can draw is an arc. So here it is when I drop down, I'm gonna draw this, gonna choose this one, which is center start end. So look now. Center of the circle, there is my object snap picking up the center of the circle. So center, end here, coming around, there, enter. Right? So that's the arc command. Alright, the next one that I'm gonna show you is the rectangle. So here we select the rectangle. It's asking for the first corner. I click here. I click there. And that will be my rectangle. Okay? Or if I can click on the rectangle, yes, I can type in the length and width. So I can type in 100 millimeters tab to get the insert the width. So I go 60, press enter. And here is my rectangle. Okay? Alright. And the next thing I can draw now is a polygon. So it's asking for the number size. I'm gonna put 6. Enter. It's asking to specify the center of the polygon. I'm gonna select here. Gonna ask you for the inscribe or circumscribe circle. I'm gonna accept the default as the one that's selected. So I press enter. And there it is. So I can either type in the radius of the circle. Let's type in 20. Or that's a little bit too small. Let me do it again. So there. Number side 6. Center of the polygon. Let us put it here. Circumscribe, inscribe circle. Alright, so there it is now. And there is our hexagon. We can mirror. Well, we can copy. So let's copy this rectangle. So we select it, press enter. You read what the command is asking you for in the command line. It's asking for the base point. So I'm going to select anywhere. I'm going to select this as the base point and see I can copy. Now, if you want it to go at an angle, you have to turn off the ortho, which is this button. F8 or press this icon down here that it shows the perpendicular right angle. So I can copy, copy, copy. Enter to close the command or the space bar. Alright, the next thing I can do, I can move. So you're gonna move. I'm gonna move this, enter. Click here, I can move, right? Now, the other thing we can do is erase. So I can take this eraser, select my object, press enter, and it'll be erased. Alright. If you want to write text, you type in the word text. The first thing is gonna ask you for the start point. So you click, then next is gonna ask you for the height. So you put 8 millimeters, enter. Rotational angle 0. AutoCAD is measuring from this way, follow the cursor going anti-clockwise unless you change it, okay? So we go enter, and there it is flashing, so I can write our first AutoCAD drawing. Okay, so these are the basic tools that we will use to draw in AutoCAD. We have the line, we have the circle, we have the arc, we have the rectangle, which is this function here. We have the rectangle, we have the polygon, we have the other tools to modify. So we have trim, I showed you the trim, I showed you the move, and I showed you the copy. We have now come to the end of the video entitled How to Use the AutoCAD Software. We're now at the end of part 1 of 3 videos. So in this video, we looked at the main commands that you would use to draw a drawing using the AutoCAD software. In part 2, we'll be looking at how do we use these commands to draw a transition piece. So whether you're doing building or mechanical or technical drawing, development is a common topic that is used in these three um, engineering fields, right? So we're looking forward to seeing you in videos 2 and 3. Thanks for watching. Bye. Thanks for watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, and share.